Republic TV has now accessed another video of Taliban's brutality. The Taliban opened fire at citizens near the Kabul airport to disperse the crowds. You can see how Afghans are crouching down to save themselves from the bullets that are being fired by the Taliban. Just to tell our viewers that these are visuals that we are getting from the airport in Kabul, the Hamid Karzai airport. Now, just to give you a sense of what's happening at the airport is controlled by the United States troops. However, outside of the airport, the Taliban has put up barricades at every 200 meters and are stopping people from accessing the airport. Now, this is a visual of the Taliban essentially firing in the air to disperse crowds that are now gathering at the airport in a bid for Afghans to escape the rule of the Taliban. Major General Kochhar continues to be with us. Major General Kochhar, interestingly, the Taliban in its first press conference said that we are not the same old Taliban, we are Taliban 2.0. But how does one believe that when one sees these visuals coming in from citizens across Afghanistan, which essentially show the brutality of the Taliban hasn't changed?
Nupur, you are absolutely right. But till yesterday's reports in the papers, 12 Afghans have been killed by the Talibanis so far. The actual figure may be much higher. Secondly, what we are seeing in the visuals today is totally in contradiction to the statements being made by the spokesperson of the Talibanis. Thirdly, the statement made by President Biden, which was there in the morning newspapers, stating that the Americans have not been able to establish contact with any of their people in Afghanistan except for those who are at the airport. Fourthly, the Talibanis are filtering people who can be allowed access to the airport. It is significant to note that in this filtration process, they are carrying out door-to-door searches and taking out those people who are sympathetic to the NATO as well as the Afghan government. And I would be out of place to mention here that you may find executions also taking place now. Therefore, this situation is slowly going out of hand, and I see no reason to believe that Taliban 2.0 will be any different from Taliban 1.0.
Now, Major General Kochhar, even as we see these visuals, the NATO meets tomorrow. There is an emergency meeting that's been called virtually by the NATO. What do you make of that? And how much control really can the NATO have over this situation? Because at the moment, there is no government, there is no accountability, and the hastiness with which the US withdrew has left the situation on the ground extremely shaky.
Yes, you are absolutely right, because right now there cannot be any physical intervention by the NATO forces. But what I foresee is that economic sanctions may be discussed. The funds which were made available to the Afghan government will not be forthcoming now. The bank accounts have all been sealed, and what America was funding for the various projects in Afghanistan for their development as well as sustenance for the Afghanistan National Army, they will also not be forthcoming. IMF has stopped aid to Afghanistan as of now. So these are the kind of pressure tactics which can be exercised by the NATO countries as of now, and
Right.
they may hope that Taliban leadership comes back to its senses and honors the peace agreement which was executed in Doha very recently.
Absolutely. Major General Kochhar, appreciate your joining us on Republic TV this morning. Thank you for joining us.
It was a pleasure.